Yo, what's going on? This is the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, and you're listening to the Sports Jedi Network. You get me?
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, Miles Bourne. I just want to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me.
Hey guys, this is Elena Black, and you are watching Sports Jedi Network.
This is AJ Francis, and you're with Sports Jedi Network.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome here to the Sports Jedi Media, Sports Jedi Network channel. Yes, this is the Total Nonstop Jedi's all TNA talk. Of course, you know us. We've been covering TNA for a long time, and we want to dedicate a full day, a full show on total nonstop action with some total nonstop Jedi's. Of course, we are powered by Dude Wipe. Stay fresh, stay clean, stay match ready. Dude Wipe Sports Jedi Network, wiping out the competition. And, of course, G Fuel Energy. Fuel your soul. Fuel your stream. GFuelEnergy.com. Use promo code PGHChristian. Save on your G Fuel Energy. Of course, Blackout Coffee. Wake up, stand up, never back down. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. Use promo code SportsJedi20 and save 20% off your order. I'm going to go around the horn to the Jedi's. Let's go back from vacation, from parts unknown. Look at that tan. The one and only PGH. Chris, what up?
What up? What up? Feels great. Yes, we're back. Lockdown this Sunday afternoon. One of my favorite pay-per-views growing up as a TNA fan. So I'm happy they're bringing that back. They're bringing back a few classic matches going into lockdown. And we have a possibility for a hometown crowning as for a new champion. So we're ready to get into that today. And I'm happy to be back with my guys to talk some wrestling.
And the man who gives you the hard-hitting facts with no chasers. The one and only Haas Knucklebrew.
Hello, everyone. Hope y'all having a great Friday afternoon. We're going to talk some TNA and a very special treat for you. The Hoss is going to be experiencing his first lockdown event this weekend. So join us. Let's have some fun. Let's get some predictions in. Let's talk about Impact last night. Let's just have some fun with total nonstop action.
Absolutely. Don't forget, hit like, subscribe, and share all our channels on the Sports Jedi Network, which is Sports Jedi Media, until YouTube decides to unlock the channel where we could get it back after some hackers invaded and did some nasty things to our YouTube channel. So hopefully we could get our email back with our that belongs to the YouTube channel to start streaming on our YouTube channel. So, man, let's talk about this go-home show, man. We had a go-home show here, the final night of the installment in Philadelphia. I want to, before we go around the matches and all the stuff there, I'm gonna say this here, and this is a little bit of a, I don't want to sound negative when I'm starting off, but I have to say this. This is where the show being preempted or predetermined and taped for a lot of times. It felt the vibe for a go-home show was a little, and they've done this a long time. Look, we were excited about that go-home show where before Slammiversary and so forth. It was a tape show. But this one here, for some reason, for the build for lockdown, it just felt a little bit off. We'll get into all this stuff there. I don't know if you guys want to elaborate on any of that.
I mean, there were certain things that felt a little weird. I mean, I don't know why we're a few days away from lockdown. And we got we didn't get a face-to-face between the knockouts. We got a Zoom meeting. It literally looked like our production, which was kind of, didn't really connect with that. And then the main event didn't really connect with. And I know we'll break those two subjects down more later on in the show. But those are the two things off the top that I can think of that was just kind of, didn't connect with me very good.
When it comes to lockdown, I'm really interested in the Order 4 drama. That's been one thing to carry the build for me, and the main event is what is leaving a lot to be desired. It seems like it's more predictable than anything, because I know we'll get to our predictions later, but I just don't see any shock or awe coming out of it. But I could be wrong. But It just seems like it doesn't have much juice to it, if that makes any sense.
No. Speaking of the Order 4, they open up the show with a Order 4 state of emergency, a Mustafa Ali promo to kick off the show with Order 4 in the ring, demanding the crowd for silence, addressing the state of emergency following Jason Hodge defeating him for the TNA International title. All and behold, which is leading to a match where he demands his fellow loyalty member of John Schuyler to face Hodge tonight, and to see how loyal he really is. And you see the conflict from Tasha Steelz and his best friend, of course, John Schuyler. Your thoughts there, Haas? You like the Order 4? I'm loving it, and I'm loving the storyline that they're giving us.
Yes, this is actually what, like I said in our beginning, this is carrying the build for me, and I think it's carrying the build for a lot of other people because it seems like it has the most drama that needs to be resolved going into a pay-per-view. And I'm really interested to see where they're going with Hodge, because me personally, I don't see him as a standalone star. But if the booking just becomes great for him, it could be something. He just doesn't look like that to me. But I guess I know different strokes for different folks. But what are you gonna do with Mustafa if he wins or loses? Like there's a lot of drama that needs to be resolved with Order 4, and it has plenty of juice. Like I'm very interested in it.
Yeah, Chris, Jason Hodge kind of reminds me a little bit of Trey Miguel when he kind of was on his own, his first X Division title run.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good comparison there, because Jason, like he's proven himself right now. It's kind of a test to see what he can do on his own, because honestly, I think he's kind of the standout in that, always been the standout between besides Mustafa Ali and Order 4. And I think we've talked about that kind of privately, especially seeing these guys a little bit up close. I like Jason Hodge. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about Lockdown later, but if he can get a win over Mustafa Ali, that's going to be big for him. He could possibly enter himself into not a main event scene in TNA per se, but he could start having those big matches against maybe like an AJ or big feuds. Or this is a test in so many ways, in my opinion, of Jason Hodge, and I think he's doing very well. The reason why this storyline is connecting with people and me, of course, too, is these guys have been in the group for so long. The loyalty that they showed Mustafa Ali, obviously in kayfabe, right, has been a long back and forth. So to see this finally, grow apart and then actually have beef, and Jason Hodge standing up to the leader Mustafa Ali, I think that's why it's gravitating towards people, because they've been doing this for so long, and we're now getting the outcome of the Order 4, or like the finish of their story.
Not only that, they have a female to balance with.
They got two now.
No, that's what I'm saying. They have females to balance the female with Mila Moore, where you can have a Tasha Steelz, Mila Moore. Yeah. You can have a civil war within the Order 4. And Agent Zero is the big one. If Agent Zero, you could see him turning on Ali, with Ali becoming a little too handsy with a couple slaps. And, I think that's down the line. I don't know how early they pull the trigger. But you know what? Very compelling storytelling where TNA gives you that with Mustafa Ali. And look, we've said this a lot. We would love to see Mustafa Ali skyrocket to the world title picture. Maybe this feud with Hodge, because he is helping. Haas, is he really he is helping elevating Haas, Jason Hodge, Haas. Try to say that 3 times.
My biggest thing is, I know we like what you just said about Mustafa going to the main event. He can't afford to lose at Lockdown, because there will be consecutive feuds that he's lost. That's not a good look to move you up to the main event. And with Jason Hodge, like I say with me, I view wrestling a lot differently than other people. Hodge is a very good wrestler. I can't dispute that. In the ring, he's fine. His character is bland to me. I don't know, as a standalone star, can he draw money? I know that's a very controversial phrase these days, because the brands draw money, but we just gonna use it for wrestling right now. Were people gonna come to see Jason Hodge with that belt exclusively? And I find that very questionable.
Can I ask this question on that follow-up? But you're starting to see the story of him where Mustafa Ali becoming a little bit too friendly with his wife. And you saw the daughter storyline and Mustafa referencing the clothes that she wears is because of him and all that stuff. They're trying to give you that sympathy angle with the baby face. Is it working, or do you, I think I know your answer. Do you need more?
It's working. It is. It's just they're getting to the point where if you feel so sympathetic for Hotch, are you going to book yourself into a corner with Mustafa's character? Because with him, if you give Hotch 2 straight wins over Mustafa, that's going to really take all the power away from the Order 4. Unless you're just going to disband the whole group, I would understand it. I don't see them disbanding the whole group. I could see them just excommunicating Hotch. Maybe even Skylar after this, maybe because he's going to help Hotch, but there's no way I see them disbanding the whole group. That's why I just can't see Mustafa taking another loss.
So let me ask this to you, Chris: does it benefit Mustafa Ali to win that international title back?
That's kind of where I think about it, because I agree with Hoss. I don't think Mustafa Ali can really take a loss again, but does Mustafa Ali need to be the international champion again? That's kind of I don't want to say what more can he do with those belt or a belt, because I think I don't like that phrase too much, but we've kind of seen a lot of, he's had great matches, even triple threats, fatal 4-ways, a lot of the guys that would be competitors for that championship anyway, like Trey Miguel, BDE, Rich Swann, like he's been there and done that. This is kind of like his final, to me, this is his final story with the international title. That's why I don't think he's getting it back.
Okay.
I would say this. They're booking Mustafa like, I know we don't like to compare other companies, but they're booking him like Reigns and Moxley, if that makes sense. Leaders of big factions. They encompass the whole show. So if you're gonna book him on a similar playing field like that, he can't lose. He can't lose twice.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I think I see him lose because you could see the Tasha turning on Ali, and so also John Skyler, where that could be where Mustafa loses. And look, I always remember this in a couple months, I believe under 60 days, you're gonna have Bound for Glory. You're gonna have the Cup Gauntlet. You're gonna have the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, where Mustafa Ali could easily win that, and he has that opportunity to call your shot. That kind of heel work and that promo and him being sneaky to try to steal, win the TNA World Title with that Call Your Shot Gauntlet could work for Mustafa Ali. Let's face it. You just complimented him where you're complimenting him with Roman Reigns. I'm John Moxley. What's the common denominator on that? People tune in to watch. I think people are tuning in to watch Mustafa Ali, and him with that Call Your Shot Gauntlet, where at any time that music or him come out sneaky, I think it's going to draw interest for people to watch.
You're correct, but to go with what you just said there, even if he loses in a screwy finish, that means if Tasha, Skyler, even Agent Zero, if they go against him, that means you're either disbanding Order for All together, or will he be recruiting new members? So that's the biggest thing that's coming out, is like how are you going to deal with that? Like, because I agree with, I don't really think he needs the international title, but this is just how the rest of the year is going to play out for him.
Right. Yeah. I understand. That's something that we're going to talk about, because after the show at the review, and I have some thoughts on what's going on here. It's been over 60 days with the departure of Tommy Dreamer, and we're going to give a little bit of a temperature, take a quick temperature on the TNA creative and their storylines, and we'll get that at the end of the program on there. I love this because it sparks a good conversation for Mustafa Ali. Which road would they go with him? Does he win back the title? And as he elevated Jason Hotch? And those are the questions here. And for you that are watching us, leave your comments. Let us know what you think. If Mustafa Ali has elevated the first international title, secondly, Jason Hotch, and the competition around it and the storyline. Is that something that you tune in to watch Thursday Night Impact? Those are the questions we want to ask and hopefully give you our thoughts and answers. Something that we didn't really want to see some answers to, an undefeated streak, a match. Rich Swann taking on Mr. Elegance. Mr. Elegance riding an undefeated streak that he has not been pinned. But during the course of the match, you got some interferences from M by Elegance, but she distracted the referee. H by Elegance nailed Swann with a swinging DDT. However, Swann fought back, avoided up a follow-up, and caught Mr. Elegance for the dangerous roll-up and gets the 1, 2, 3. By the way, did you see that nasty spit that Rich Swann had all over his mouth, and the referee grabbed it and threw it out? Oh, that was I was
loogie. It's a loogie.
Jesus Christ, Swanee, what are you doing?
See,
Mr. Elegance lost.
See, Rich Swann was spitting up because he saw all the baby oil glistening off Mr. Elegance.
I thought he was looking at Maggie Lee. She makes me foam.
If he was looking at Maggie Lee, there's no way he would have been able to wrestle Mr. Elegance. He would have just lost completely, clean. He would have been distracted. But this match was it was whatever, because with Mr. Elegance, he has no plan, which is, I'm glad they got rid of the undefeated streak, because what were you going to do with him? Were you going
the next Goldberg?
Oh God, I don't.
So if they were going to do that,
gold.
Okay, I will humor you. I will humor that, Kev. If they were going to make him this unstoppable force, where he was the Goldberg in the women's division, he was squashing Li Ling Yi. Oh, my bad. That name has been so hard to say for me. But yes, he was been squashing women. So he gets rolled up by Rich Swann, a champion. At least it was a champion. He didn't go out to a jobber. So shout out to Mr.
Manny Low.
Yeah, no Manny Low. Oh. Shout out to Mr. Elegance for standing 10 toes tall with a former TNA world champion. So shout out to him. Hopefully this makes him just a mascot again. I don't care to see him wrestle again. He's too slippery out there to be wrestling anyway. I will always give him credit. The man is completely shredded. He looks like a damn wrestler. I will give him that. The guy is in impeccable shape, but they have no plan for him. So I would rather not see him wrestle until they probably remake his character, whatever. But it was fine. This match was whatever. It was whatever.
You know what? PGA's Chris. When Rich Swann rolled him up and pinned, he says, he smelled the baby oil. He says, this is what I should have done to Omega when they fought.
Look, I am not a fan of Mr. Elegance. This guy really threw a tantrum post-match. Like, I don't know, like a mother taking away their kid's Xbox or something. He's definitely been, his trainer is Ash by Elegance. I'm convinced that man is being mentored and trained by Ash by Elegance.
So you're telling me there's an Oni fan hope for him?
He's most likely better off in doing modeling or something than wrestling, in my opinion. But let's talk about the match. It was okay. I'll give him credit because he's living his gimmick, right? He's being a goofball, right? He seems a lot more put together than he did when he first got there. So I will give him that. But I'm happy Rich Swann won here. I think Rich Swann could be he's a semi-good mid-carder for TNA. With Mr. Elegance, I honestly think he was just put in there because the Elegance brand needed another group they wanted a male member, and he kind of looks the part. He looks, the fruity part of the male Elegance character. So, him or Perez Hilton, which I don't think Perez Hilton's going to be coming around these days, but yeah.
Bless his soul.
So he's there like an overripe fruit. He's overripe. Put him in the compost.
He would be a better, like I said, he looks like a better model or something like that than a pro wrestler. Let's
play up Mr. Elegance. He's with a hot faction.
All right.
They're gonna have to push him eventually. When is the push coming? And what belt would it be for? Well, because they tried him in the X division belt. Remember, he was in the Ultimate X match. which belt will they have him going for? Because the push is coming. Because as long as he's with the Elegance brand, that brand is hot. So he's got to be pushed eventually.
He'll be going for the Knockouts title or the Knockouts tag team titles. No, in all seriousness, probably the international.
It wouldn't put
probably
me
the international
past them.
title.
With all this WNBA nonsense going around and and this and that, wouldn't put me past. It wouldn't.
He'll go to AAA with fucking Heather, and they'll do the AAA mixed tag team shit. They'll probably utilize the collab.
That's not bad either. That's not a bad thought. Good.
But in all seriousness, Hoss, to answer your question, probably the international title. If Jason Hotch does retain or something, I could see that maybe being like a. I'm not saying Jason Hotch specifically, but a mid card feud like that, I could see probably Mr. Elegance winning it at some pay per view because they don't really do this year like the Friday shows, like Emergence, like those Friday specials that they did a lot last year.
Yeah, you're right.
They haven't done much like Emergence and Resurge, like all this shit. They didn't really haven't done. So I'm kind of confused there, but he'll probably win it down the line at one of these pay-per-views. Maybe after Bound for Glory or like right before what's their show in the beginning of the year? Hard to Kill.
No, Genesis.
That's right. They got rid of Hard to Kill.
Remember, you got to think of Phil Collins and Steven Seagal for their pay-per-views.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, shout out to Don Callis who named most of those after that. That's a true story.
I know, yeah.
F. Don Callis.
Then here's the thing that I noticed. I rolled my eyes because you saw M by Elegance with that nice dress out there, like woof. And then you saw, and then the next match because you saw. Let's not bury the lead. You had the Righteous for some reason at the ring at the end, the top of the ramp. They want their eye on BDE. They really want BDE to join the Righteous. I don't know why. I don't know if the brother's gonna drink the Kool-Aid, but I guess they want the social media engagements. But that's a story there that was like, okay, it felt out of place. I don't know about you, Haas. Did you have you really followed this with the Righteous and BD?
See, they heard us talking about the other because they wanted to break up this monotony of just same race factions. They want to break it up. So we're going to bring in the black man into our 60s gimmick where we're Helter Skelter and Charles Manson, and we're going to bring in Chuck Berry. But I kid. But yes, this is interesting. I will say that they're trying things. Again, it doesn't make any damn sense, but they're trying things. So I want to see where it goes.
So let's keep an open mind. Could we agree to that one?
Yeah, yes. It's interesting to see the Righteous feud with somebody other than the Hardys. So
yeah, because they did come out of that lake of reincarnation. Maybe they picked up some soul. As we move on, yes, this is where I noticed there was a little bit of a disconnect. If you look at the crowd and then you see, I go, wait a minute, their next match is going to be H by Elegance. She was just in a skirt. How is she gonna get on in her ring gear and the magic of pre-recorded television? Because you saw a whole set of new crowd, a whole new set of different people, but Maggie wore the dress 2 weeks in a row. Ooh, I hope she's not wearing the same underwears 2 weeks in a row.
Highly doubted. We got washing machines, Kev.
I hope so. But we had a knockouts tournament this is the semifinals of the tournament. A high pace action featured a split-legged moonsault, a double stomp by Stone. Things spilled out to the outside, where Heather hit a brutal German suplex on the apron. This is where I wrote this down on my notes. Heather hit Jada Stone with that suplex on the outside. It was cool. You saw Jada Stone didn't really sell it. She wanted to get right. She wanted to run back into the ring, like, oh, you just got German. Let it breathe. But then here's the one thing I had disconnect that I wrote on my notes was followed by a Stone launches with a hurricanrana on the outside of the floor, and both ladies died for almost a count of 10. And I'm like, you just got German suplex, nasty on that apron, but meanwhile both of you ladies are dead after the hurricanrana spot. I was like, no, this is where the hopefully Lance Storm pulls these ladies aside, or whoever's the agent H Steel, and say, no, this is where we need to clean it up. We have to, we need to fall in the line with the psychology. But then Jada Stone, ultimately secures a victory and advances to the tournament. I was shocked. I thought we were getting an all elegance finals. I thought that would have been a compelling story. Will the ladies go down and dirty? These two tag team and so forth. But Jada Stone goes. I gonna question this here. I think the wrong lady won. That's my opinion.
I think with the booking, I think they want to save the elegance disillusion for later. I don't think they want to just heat it up right now. I think that's what that was about. And with Jada Stone, it gives them two hot names going into the championship. You get in two different demographics. You got Maggie Lee, who was probably the predictable winner that has the appeal for most people that watch the show, and Jada Stone, she has the Leon Slater appeal, the flippy, the all over the place type of action for the girl demographic. So I have no problem with it, and they're gonna mesh well. You got this tall lumbering gal in Maggie Lee. You got the short spark with Jada Stone. I believe they're gonna play off each other well in the championship match.
I hope so. I'm going to be totally 100% honest. I'm not a fan of Jada Stone's wrestling. I'm it's not my cup of coffee. Not because she flips. The flips are fine. It's just something along the lines where she is something off that's missing from her. It's not. It's again. It's I enjoy the acrobatics, the gymnastics, and I that's great. There's something off for her. I don't know if it's her size, and I shouldn't be size, but there's something off for her to be inaugural. I hope she gets it. I don't know if that's going to be the inaugural champion, but when you have a tournament when you had Elena Black, which we know now they did a good job getting her out of the tournament with personally with the draw with Wendy Chu, but you had some heavy hitters there earlier that you got upsetted, but hey, it's just like the NCAA basketball tournament. Anything could happen. So I kind of like that from TNA. I got to give them credit on that part, doing something different, fresh, different competitors and there. So let's see how that goes. And I'm not too keen on her, but hey, if she's got this far, why not finish the story?
I honestly think they're trying to reset the Knockouts division. They got a lot of heels over there. So let's just say Jada Stone does win, at least she got a lot of competitors coming out of the gate. If Maggie was to win, they would probably have her not defend that belt too often because they don't have that many faces in the knockout division. So it's just something to think about there. I think the whole knockouts division is under reconstruction. So when we see these titles change hands, well, next week when you get your first TV championship, and then you get your knockouts championship at Lockdown, it's going to be a complete reset for the knockouts division. So I'm here for it.
All right. So we were talking about the semifinals where Jada Stone beats H by Elegance.
Very surprised about that. I know we've talked about since she's been signed. Look, I don't mean this in any way, but I'm going to keep saying this. I don't really see. I don't know what other people see in Jada Stone. I don't think she's that great in the ring. Her character, she doesn't really have much of one. Mm-hmm. She's kind of like just underdog that you want to root for. I understand that, but she hasn't given me anything, guys, since she's been here in TNA. She's Tommy Dreamer signed her and Mila Moore in Pittsburgh.
Chris, I get it. I mean, the best thing I can really describe her, she has luchador appeal. That's the best way I could describe it. Like most luchadors don't have a character to speak of, but they're very athletic. They're all over the place. There's fast-paced action. You either like it or you don't. That's the best way I can do it. Because I just told Kev, she has Leon Slater appeal for me, like for the female dynamic. Not many people are wrestling like her in the knockouts division.
That's
so
fair.
That's
fair. That's fair.
I just stepped away, and you pretty much copied what I just said. Like almost like that's how much we're on lockstep. We agree. We worked. Me and Chris had almost the same thoughts. I said I'm going to keep an open mind. She's going to go finish the story. You're going to be this fine in the finals, get the title because you got Harley Hudson. That we're going to talk about now because she had speaking of her, she had a match with Alicia Edwards. There was some high stakes because the director of operation, the suit, Daria Raid, sat on commentary, having expectation declaring Harry contract is expendable and is on the line if she lost. But despite the finish, despite the interference and the cheap shot from Eddie Edwards from the outside, Hudson hangs tough, hits a pair of hip attacks, and caught Alicia with a roll-up for the shocking feel-good victory. And there is another babyface being given birth to us there, Haas.
Before I get into this match, what is it with TNA and these quirky stipulations as of late? Like we when in Lockdown, we got the X Division title. If Leon loses, all his records get stricken from the book. Now we got Harley Hudson, a loser goes home match. But Alicia Edwards, there's no stipulation for her. Like, what does TNA got going? But that's another discussion. But this
we'll
match,
be having that at the end of the show, or at the end of this review, because we got a lot of different other things, to talk about with TNA.
yes, okay. Well, with Harley Hudson, I enjoy it. Like, she just needs a more defined character, but she looks like a strong female wrestler. You need hands like that on deck when you are rebuilding your knockouts division. Like I just said in the last segment, I believe this knockouts division gonna go through a whole lot of reconstruction. So I can see them actually doing something with Harley Hudson. So this match was fine. Alicia Edwards, it looks a little washed to me, but hey, I mean she's more of a legacy status these days. So.
Yes, whatever. Locker room veteran, female locker room veteran leader. If you want to say
kayfabe wise, a win over Alicia Edwards works in the Hudson's favor, so that's fine.
Yeah. Chris, your thoughts on that one?
I didn't mind it. I know Harley Hudson hasn't done anything in a while. She really hasn't done much since she's been there, and I like the story. They gave us a little bit of a story out of it. If she wins, can she get re-signed? And I like them after the match. Eddie Edwards. She they're not scared to do the intergender stuff in TNA, which is what I think some of it was a little too much, especially with the Mariah Sideh and Ryan Nemeth stuff. But I respect that they're not scared to do stuff like this. And it looked fine. You wanted to get behind Harley Hudson. I think she needed that. And Tracy Brooks giving her the endorsement on the FaceTime call is pretty good. So I like, that's what I wish Wednesday nights could do. Even if it's something for a fucking week to get somebody over, to get the crowd invested in behind somebody. If you beat me, you get re-signed. If, she's saying, I don't know if I have a future, like you want this person to win. Good job. It was simple, not too much, and it got to the point. Good job.
There you go. Definitely. We had a lethal lockdown advantage match. We had Brian Myers taking on Fabian Aichner. The winner secures a crucial man advantage and weapons edge for their team inside the steel cage lockdown. The finish came where it was a physical back and forth with Aichner locked in La Fina submission, only for Myers to grab the bottom rope. The referee out of position allowed Myers to sneak a low blow, a kick in the groin, hit the spear to pick up the victory for the system. They have the man advantage. I'm going to go right to you, Haas. Fabian Aichner, seeing him in the ring. I know Brian Myers, safe opponent, but he's not going to do anything. Did the match deliver for you?
Yes, it did. It made Fabian Aichner look very good. That's the biggest thing I can say coming out of it. I'm still growing. Well, I got Fabian Aichner growing on me. I can't say I'm a fan. I can't say I'm against him. I'm just watching very intently from the cheap seats. So hopefully there's more things in store that will get me more to his side. So this match, I can't complain about it much. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad.
No, and Chris, the Fabian Aichner, the way he lost, it wasn't. You don't feel like he's like, oh, here we go. He's not getting booked well. Just a low blow. Referee didn't see. Your thoughts on the whole psychology, and I'll go back to Haas on that one as well.
Not bad. It's not a surprise that the heels are going to get the advantage match going in the lethal lockdown. That's what you want to do. You want the heels to get the advantage. That's good booking. So I'm just more surprised that Brian Myers was the guy that they sent out to have the match, but it was fine. He looked good. We don't get to see, like, we see some of it, but some of him, and especially as of recently since he was with the system, but he's not one of those guys on the roster that, Brian Myers, you don't expect him to win matches like this. So, but I like that. It makes logical booking sense. Good job again for doing that.
Let me give you a follow-up. If it was Bear Brunson pinning Fabian Aichner, how would you see Fabian Aichner?
See, Bear Brunson's not no jobber either.
I'm not saying that, but you just brought in Fabian Aichner. Brian Myers is more of an accomplished TNA veteran. So
Fair.
for him to beat Aichner doesn't really hurt his character. But if he would have lost to Bear Brunson, which they kind of, he's only been there a couple months
I can see
earlier.
where you're going with that.
I can understand. How's
I
the
can
psychology? I wanted to get with you on that psychology of the match and
Mhm.
all that. Same question I asked Chris. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that one as well.
With Bear, I mean, well, not with Bear, with Brian Myers, it doesn't hurt Eichner at all because like you say, very reputable veteran name. And truth be told, if he lost to anybody in the system, it doesn't hurt him because that's one of the main factions on the show, if not the A1 faction on the show. So the fact that you're in the booking with them raises him up a level. That he's with Lethal Lockdown, just in there with them, period. It's just, this shows they have a lot of faith in him. It shows that they have invested whatever dollars in him. So with the psychology, the match, it worked. Like both of them from a body standpoint, no one looked out of place. The pacing was fine. Like I say, it just worked. It worked.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on it because, Fabian Aichner wasn't really, like you said, they could be spending money elsewhere. And if he's going, and I just wanted to see how your temperature is with Aichner. And I know there's still more to be seen, to be determined, to see from him how well he's going to play out his TNA career. But so all in all, good match there and so forth. We get the match for a non-title match between Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. Jason Hotch didn't want to wrestle his friend Daria Ray the Suit. Kind of said, you wrestle him, you be a professional, or you get stripped or suspended. Or first he says suspended and then stripped. The match begins, the drama. They force the order for Civil War match implode where Agent Zero interferes. The twist, following the chaos, Ali surprise handed Hotch his order for pin back, patching things up, at least for now, heading into the weekend. Do you buy it?
No, not a chance. It just seems like Mustafa's playing coy, and it's going to probably lead to something very dramatic to start off that match on Sunday.
Did they announce that was the opening contest? I mean, I would love that.
It should be.
Yeah, because he's the hometown guy from Chicago. You want the people getting right. Yeah, good job, good call there, Haas. If you didn't hear that and you said that from your point of view, that's a good call. Great call.
Because it's one of the only matches that really have a lot of juice going into the weekend, and we all know that the Hardys and the Nemeths are going to end the show. So why not start off hot with an international championship match?
I like your booking, brother.
That or the I could see that or the X Division match being this opener.
Ooh, that's something. If you want to start the show with a downer, let's say Leon doesn't win. You really want? They got to with the stipulation on all that stuff.
Yeah,
let's go to the main event because we're gonna talk some lockdown. Main event time. We have a all-star 8-man tag, but since TNA doesn't have the budget, there is no money. There is no party implication like the other companies. They usually put a couple $100,000s per people, but not this time. TNA says, brother, that ain't gonna work for me. We don't got that budget. We got the Hardys, Jeff and Matt, Elijah with the 3 cords, and Moose taking on the Nemeth, Rick and Ryan Nemeth, AJ Francis, and Frankie Kazarian. Total chaotic preview for the weekend. Moose, Matt Hardy hitting dual poetry in motion on Nick Nemeth. Moose and Nick renew their old rivalry while Elijah showcase explosive off the top ropes. The finish with AJ Francis tried to shift momentum with the TFL, but Matt Hardy levels him with a twist of fate that opened the door for Jeff Hardy to climb out to the turnbuckle, drill him with a massive swanton bomb, and send everyone happy. But backstage, there was some aftermath. This is where I had a little bit disconnect. Not because it is. The chaos didn't stop. Cedric Alexander was laid out, following ongoing feud with Leon Slater. But last week, we saw that with Moose. But Moose, this week, decides he's okay to wrestle. Which he didn't really show ill effects of getting hit backstage. This is where recording or pre-recorded shows hurt the product.
I don't know where the story's going here. With Cedric being laid out, heels being laid out is the funniest thing ever. Like baby faces laying people out backstage it doesn't jive. So it's kind of a weird booking there. But hey, we'll see what happens with it Sunday. But yeah, finding out heels getting knocked out backstage is very weird.
Chris?
Has to be another heel because I agree with Hoss. I don't understand why they would have baby faces attack heels either backstage, but it wasn't a bad way to go off. You get us talking, you get us questioning.
Not only Cedric was knocked out this week. Last week was Moose, so it's one baby face, one heel. It's not just totally heels though.
Well, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's just interesting because you had Cedric, who's a member of the system, Moose, former member of the system. So it's kind of I don't know if I'm looking too much into it or something like that, but I wonder if it's an old friend.
All right, I'm gonna put a pin on there. I want you to give me because I have a theory, but I wanted to hear your thoughts on the whole Thursday Night Impact show. To me, it was a C show because of the taping. You could tell that the different fans in the front row, different clothing. Did it help? Did it feel like a go home show, Haas?
No, because the main event left a lot to be desired. It wasn't a bad main event. It just didn't have much sizzle. That's with me. The rest of the show was an average show. It just the main event just didn't give it the boost that it needed to give it to like a B minus. So I can agree with your C assessment. I agree.
Yes, Mr. Chris.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest go home show, especially that they've had this year, but it got got the job done for kind of like what Hoss said to me on Wednesday. Not the greatest show, but some of the things got the job done. We got Harley. The Harley Hudson thing was pretty good. Didn't get too invested into the Elena Black and Xia Brookside stuff, which we'll talk more about when we preview Lockdown.
Yeah. And
it seemed like they were pretty focused on the Lockdown pay-per-view this Sunday on a lot of the stuff in the show. So I could appreciate that. But like Hall said, some stuff with the main event just didn't not sit well, but just kind of wonky and wondering what's going to happen. And that's kind of your biggest piece of the show right there. A lot of those guys are in big matches, and you got the main event match. Little interesting that Nick Nemeth isn't defending his title, but I like where this story's going.
Right. And that's to me, like I said, it was a C. The reason why I didn't speak about the Elena Black and Xia Brookside, because they didn't really do much to talk. You want to I need to see these ladies go at it.
I agree. I was completely disconnected from it. It sounded like AI. It looked like AI. It sounded like AI. When they were in that Skype call, I think I like Elena Black. I don't think she's that great at promos. Xia Brookside made like one or two decent points, but her delivery's still kind of not gravitated. I'm not gravitated towards the way she delivers promos, but it got the job done in sense of finally they got a face-to-face, and I guess there's a clear heel and baby face. Elena wants to win the title in her hometown, and Zaya's the bad girl now, so it's not bad. I didn't like the promo. I didn't like the segment.
Go ahead, House. I'm sorry.
This matchup seems like a old Divas matchup from the past WWE era, if that makes sense. It seems very forced. I don't see Elena Black being a baby face that you want to root for. If anything, it seems like, what type of woman do you like in wrestling? Do you like the blonde, or do you like the dark-haired one? What do you like? Just take your pick. And I think that's what you're looking at backstage with Delicious or whoever's booking this match.
Booking ain't that delicious.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So what flavor of woman would you like at Lockdown? That's the best way I can put it, because
you got a blonde, a brunette for the world title, and you might have a redhead winning that TV knockouts.
Hey, that's the way I'm looking at it. I mean, because there's no, I can't just say I'm rallying behind Elena Black. That's my superhero gal pal. I don't see it that way. I just like, hey, she wins. If Xia retains, well, so be it.
I would have loved. I don't think many people would have known the reference anyway, but I would have loved Xia Brookside to said, "You're just another bitch that my father trained that I'm gonna beat at Lockdown."
That would have been a nice stinging line.
That would have been
nice.
good.
That was nice.
Plain and simple. And turn off the Zoom. That's it. Or another wannabe bitch or whatever. Simple, crisp. And I know they use the word bitch a lot in wrestling. You know, you got one stealing from others. They take people off of television because that was her catchphrase to give it to another.
Yes, sir.
But still, you know, they would have been a nice one there. And the reason why I spoke about. Oh, my theory. We're gonna find out on Lethal Lockdown who's the mysterious person that's taking out Cedric and Moose Moose. To me, is some form of the. I don't know if they're gonna be called that, but I wouldn't be surprised with seeing some form of the Wyatt Six joining TNA because it just fits them. Also, they're in AMC. They're the Halloween Fest, all that horror nonsense, all that stuff there on AMC. It fits more. Look, let me ask you guys this: Sam Shaw, Joe Gacy, who's on a media tour to every podcast that I guess will have them. They didn't have to pay, and of course Nikki Cross and all the others. They fit more TNA style than AEW, or am I wrong?
You got it, Chris. Go first.
I think you're right because they won't do that type of character development, character telling in storytelling in AEW. They will in TNA, especially with the Righteous. That'd be cool.
I wouldn't sign either one of these people unless you align them with Allie and Rosemary, because we got an ongoing story with that. Because if you're gonna do the undead realm with some of them, sure, but you really gotta have some strong storytelling for them to be relevant. Because if not, you're gonna lose. You're not gonna get any ROI. You're not gonna get no return on investment here. I would just I just stay away from it completely. I wouldn't sign any of them. They're not gonna bring any. Again, I'm not saying it to just say that they don't deserve work. They deserve work like a lot of other people. I just do not see them helping TNA be profitable. If that makes any sense, I just don't see it.
Let me ask this question regarding with that. We had a town hall meeting where Carlos Silva, Ryan Nemeth, they did a town hall meeting where it was so much planted and staged. That was the most false. You know, they got a TNA Plus or TNA fan club type of deal for $100 extra. You get all these things. So what happened to the $229 that I paid for when I signed up for TNA Plus, where I get all these pay-per-views? They didn't even mention it. And plus, where the hell were we to ask questions to ask that? Because I was going to say, how does that affect my TNA Plus that I have, the top tier that I paid for? Am I grandfathered into this new system? I'm not going to pay another $100 because you're going to get the same pay-per-views again. And what are you going to get? So we couldn't ask questions. That was the most planted crap that I've seen. It wasn't bad. I like to hear Carlos Silva, a good friend, but it was planted. When you have to let's take questions from the fans. The same, it was planted. They didn't. Plus, they asked Queen of the Ring to do a video about questioning, where she doesn't cover the show. If you would have got, go ahead, Kev. You didn't ask us. You didn't ask AO Productions. You didn't ask. No, William. They mentioned William Gardner and Carlos Silva shouted him out being in the front row and dedicated fan. Good, but that's it. It was the most planted, nonsensical stuff that I saw, and I'm like, TNA. I'm gonna ask this question. We've been covering you, not just us, others. It seems like you don't want us covering you. You don't care about us. You want to go chase guys or content creators that sit around and talk nonsense and belittle your product, like Shy Tom Smart, who you gave him the feed for Victory Road and let him to show it on his channel. But meanwhile, he sits there with JD crapping on the product. We don't say anything derogatory or negative. If we don't like something, we'll tell you, but we're positive. We try to give or at least our constructive criticism why we didn't like it. But meanwhile, it seems like you don't work well with us. Like if we're not your cup of coffee, let us know, because we have no problem. We're covering Major League Wrestling. We're covering AEW Dynamite. We're covering WWE. We're covering NXT. We're gonna get New Japan Pro Wrestling. If we're not your cup of coffee, fine. We love this product. We have gone and traveled where our money to go. We have supported you guys. The love is not there. Where's the love for us? You know, we're starting out. We're from the bottom here. You know, just like you guys, never say die. We that's why we rally with TNA wrestling. But meanwhile, it shows that you don't care about the podcast that covers you. And there's not just us. There's a couple of us out there that talk and love this product. Where all the signings and all the different people leaving your team, you're leaving or asking for their releases. It hurts us because we get emotionally attached to these talents. But you guys are chasing other people. Where are the Holland twins? They haven't been on your television at all. But meanwhile, they're the first ones that want front row tickets. Where are all these people that you did on the AMC premiere? That the content creators that none of them are speaking your 3-letter words, but we are the ones that you're rejecting and pushing to the closet or pushing aside. That's not cool. That's not cool because we want to support this product and we love this product. We want to talk about the talents. Check our videos. We're over 1,000. Some of you people that you give interviews to, that you go chasing, they only get 40, 200, 150 people watching. Yeah, it's not the tens and hundreds of thousands people watching our show, but we're getting in the thousands every time we have a TNA talent on our channel to interview. People want to listen to what they say because we're not going to ask the softball questions or we're not going to ask goofball fanboy questions. But I digress.
Yeah, and we've done everything they've asked. So don't push the loyal ones out because when the big ones start to leave, you're gonna wish we stuck around. You're not the only fucking wrestling company. This is a message for all the wrestling companies. You guys aren't the only business in town. You're not the NFL. This isn't NFL. This isn't nothing. This is a television show. There's multiple of them. And at least for me, I'm not going to stick myself to one. I love TNA. And hopefully they start showing us that same love back again.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them know it, and they already know these numbers. They know the analytics. The average wrestling viewer, the age demographic is 50 plus years old. The youth are on the internet. So TNA, if you want, this is the best way for outreach by podcasters like this that sit up here and talk about your product. We are the mouthpieces that you need to get more asses in those seats, in those venues. You want to get into you want 5,000 to 10,000 people at all your pay-per-views. This is the best place to do it, right here on the internet, where you can get the youthful base that you want, the base that you think that BDE is going to bring in. Who you think BDE, who watches BDE? They watch right here on the internet. That you want to get away from the demographic that you're already getting. You're already getting the 50-year-old plus people. You want to get the youthful 18 to 49 demographic that we talk about in the ratings every week with every other wrestling promotion. Don't you want to perk those numbers up? Don't you want to keep them consistent? Come back over here and play ball with the Jedis who get out the information that you need.
And not only us. The people that cover your show, not because they're getting high numbers. Yeah, they're getting high numbers because they're covering the WWE and they're covering the other company. Get the people, grow with the people that are willing to get in the trenches, roll up their sleeves, and talk total nonstop action. TNA wrestling that are there watching this on a Thursday night when it's taped and breaking it down and watching it. Not just us. There's a lot of other people that TNA does not give that love and respect that covers the TNA wrestling. They're willing to go after the people that because they have clout chase. And I understand it solidifies your argument, your thought there, Kaz. But also there's something about loyalty. The people that are loyal to your product, be loyal back. Show that same love, because if we lose the people that are loyal to your product, and the people that are just fly by night, Johnny come lately, they're not. They're going to come for the next hot thing. They're going to go ride the next hot wave. And then your diehards that were there are turned off. And it leads me now to the creative.
And the thing
Tommy,
about it is,
yes.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Go for it. Go for it. I'm going to change subject in a minute.
And we're not just putting ourselves over. I've only done a few interviews here with the Jedis, and we put y'all over every single time. The talent gets over even more when they come interview with us every single time. Kev and Chris have been doing interviews for TNA for going on a year plus, and every time the numbers show that your talent gets over every single time. Like you say, reward that loyalty. We ain't up here blowing smoke. The numbers go up.
Yeah, there's an increase. You guys didn't want certain things. Oh, certain attire to be worn. We did it. You wanted this, that. We did it. Stick to the topics, and here's the topics that you're going to. No problem. We know. You know what? We got 20 minutes. You know what? We're going to use 19. We understand that. We know it's a two-way street. We respect. But come on, man. Come on. You know, I'm pretty sure. I mean, but hey, maybe I need a creepy girl or creepy wife to sit on my face, to sit next to my face, you know, take side by side pictures and pretend that I'm going to be over with the TNA brand. I don't know, Chris. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know either, man. There's a lot of fucking fakes out there. Half of those TNA fans are fakes. A lot of those TNA fans started watching the product. Maybe, you know, talking and see, this is my thing, right? I'm not against the new TNA fans. I fucking love that TNA has new fans and there's new podcasters wanting to talk about it. But yes. I feel like some of these TNA fans who, as of recently, was like, okay, they're now on AMC, they're now getting some attention, I'm gonna start covering it, and I'm gonna go online and act like I'm the biggest TNA fan on God's green earth. That's where you piss me off as somebody who's been watching the product when they were on the fucking Spike TV days.
Yeah,
that pisses me off more than anything, to see these podcasters out there going out there and getting even more opportunities than us. Now, because we have a great dynamic, right? We have me, I've been watching the product a long time. Kev has been watching the product for a few years now. And then Hoss got into it as of recent. We have the perfect fucking dynamic to talk TNA wrestling. And to have your talent on our show. I'm just saying. And that's for any of these, iHeartRadio, all this shit. All these TNA coverage suck. Denise Salcedo sucks. Casey, can you tell me how you and Elena first got together? No, ask him how the fuck was his comeback after his injury and what's he going to do to make sure, ask some good questions. She's finally talking TNA because she can't talk about her precious little collision. Get with the real TNA fans that do this shit. And trust me, you'll see a lot better things.
Another thing, too, they need to know about sacrifice TNA. We got people. We're tradesmen. We go work every day to feed our families, to keep our lights on. And we come up here and we give our best efforts with your talent. And we put our best foot forward, and we sacrifice sleep. We sacrifice other endeavors that we could be doing. And you do not reward that with loyalty. And you just have to think about that. It's a reciprocal thing. We need to reciprocate that energy. That's all we ask. That's it. Because we could easily be doing other things, but we are giving our time, we're giving our money, we're giving our efforts to this program because we want it to grow. Will you grow with us is the question.
Or are we part of your plan to grow with you? Do you want us to be with you guys to grow? Because if you don't want us, let us know. That's no problem. Don't waste our time. Time is something we're never going to get back. Time, we're never going to get back our time. So if we're not a podcast that you want to work with, or we're not part of your cup of coffee, there's nothing wrong. I'm an adult. We're all adults here. We have no problem. We'll put our resource and efforts on another program that wants us to talk about them and help them grow. And we have. And we will continue to do that. But we still love this product. Doesn't mean that we're going to stop watching Lockdown. We're going to talk about Lockdown. We're going to break down Lockdown. We have a review show after the show is over, post-show, because that's our escape. But when we have that kind of friendly and we want to, we like what you're doing. You guys have been cool. You've been getting nice and professional. But then you're starting to see your behavior towards us is kind of like, it just isn't right. So let's move on from that there. Let's talk about the 6 months in. This is going to be another pay-per-view, another major pay-per-view for this creative with Tommy Hunter, Delirious, aka Delirious, and company. No Road Dogg with all the fanfare going into Slammiversary. Oh, the Road Dogg is going. Brian James is going to be the new head of creative and yada yada. Nothing has come out to that. That's been quiet under the submerged underwater. I told you about that town meeting. Now they want a $99 stuff. That it was very and we talked about that there. And also, Carlos Silva said there's going to be talent. They're going to reboost more of the knockouts division. Are we getting more OVW, ladies? Or what are we talking about when it comes to that? Because it leads me, and we'll get into lockdown. I have to talk about this. We're seeing a lot, Chris. A lot of wrestlers want their release. They want to leave TNA wrestling, but it looks like they want to go to TNA Light in Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Steve Macklin showed up in Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Jody Threat in Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Danny, they're all going with Scott D'Amore brand.
There you go. Like. There you go. See, I was going to say, do you know why? They're going there. They're not going there because it's Maple Leaf. They're going there because it's Scott D'Amore. And he's trying to build something, man. I mean, they just had a sold-out show recently with Adam Copeland. They're clearly working with AEW now. So, guys, I feel like Maple Leaf is going to be something to what a lot of the fans think about with TNA. What do a lot of fans say when this person gets released? Oh, they could use TNA to get to WWE. Correct. I think a lot of these people are going to use MLP to get to AEW. Steve Macklin, example, I'll give him the benefit because he is a huge Scott D'Amore guy going back years and years, and I think he just wants to finally travel with his wife. They've been in different companies for so long. It's one of those things like why Matt Cardona. I know it's his dream and all, but that's one of the big reasons why he wanted to go back there, right? That's why I think a lot of these wrestlers are going back or going to MLP because that could be their footstep into AEW. Just like a lot of these people think TNA is the footstep into WWE. And it's clearly shown, shown proof that it's worked. And Cruz Montana, Mike Santana is the most recent, look at it. Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, despite if they're doing good or not, because 2 out of the 3 aren't doing jack shit.
Trinity Fatu. Don't forget her.
Right. I use her a little bit differently, but she's in that same category.
And
Chelsea, and I like what Trinity did though, because she went, she wanted to prove to WWE that she was still somebody, because WWE was like, I'm gonna let you go. With like Cruz, Joe Hendry, like they said, okay, let me start out here and then to get to there. Like, but it's kind of the same. It's the same concept. It's the same concept. My point is, that's why these people are going to MLP.
This is where capitalism finna come into play. As you know, as everyone knows, TNA and WWE have the partnership, and with they're gonna copy the NXT to main roster deal with OVW. They're gonna everybody. If people, I'm gonna give you a little inside baseball in the trucking industry. They sit up here and they will send you to trucking school. They'll teach you how to get you how to drive, give you your CDL and everything, but you will have to sign a contract especially with these bigger companies for like a year or 2. You can't go anywhere else. You have to work with that company. TNA is going to do that with OVW. This is where the cheap labor comes into play, because everybody complains, how come TNA doesn't sign long-term deals and everybody's a mercenary? Well, TNA is trying to stop that. Like with the OVW's partnership, they're going to probably give out multi-year deals. They're going to be on the cheaper end, but this is how they're going to rebuild their divisions with OVW talent, and it's going to help their bottom line. That's how I see it going. And they're going to stop all the indie guys coming in who want higher prices, or you might, try to stem the tide of your Mike Santana's leaving, or your allegedly Leon Slater may leave. They don't want their big names to leave. We're gonna book our younger talent into bigger names. They may leave later, but they're gonna be here for at least for the time being. So I see it playing out like that.
You might be correct. I mean, it's a smart move if they do long-term signing with talents, investing so they could put them over and get them over there. But let me ask this, Chris. I'm going to say this. I think if the way things are rolling, because I'm not so hot with the creative, I'm saying if Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling ever gets a North American deal on a platform, they're going to be right there. We were talking about last year, TNA being number 2, following AEW and possibly overtaking. I won't be surprised. I find it now, a year later, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling is going to be on the heels of TNA right now.
Yeah, especially with AEW backing them up. I mean, Tony letting Adam Copeland go on MLP is huge. And this is a petty business. This is probably one of the most petty businesses.
Oh,
in
absolutely.
The world. So let's play petty for a little bit. Let me cross my legs and play petty. If I'm Scott D'Amore, you don't think I would want to be in Tony's good side? Hey, Tony, I want to get back to the company that I spent years trying to build before Anthem, before all this shit. And I know you, whatever Silva has it out for you. Let's work together. Let's take them down. And then and especially now that they were WWE, it's basically feels like a 2v2. I'll have guys come up, and then I'll be like your little minor league system. Put me on your streaming service. WWE and TNA, look at them. Get a WWE wrestler on NXT or at WrestleMania. It's a 2-on-2 right now. It's a petty business. That's what I could be looking at this just in the
you're preaching,
but no. That's what I think is going on. I think Tony and Scott are crisscrossing inside Tony's office, smoking a cigar, doing whatever the hell else they do, and talking about how can we do this. Yeah, and I would not be surprised in 2027 if we see Scott D'Amore on AEW or working a part of AEW, not with AEW, working for AEW.
I mean, possibly because he's already working with them because MLP is under my AEW app.
That's what I'm saying. There, he's working with them. I'm talking about I could see him working for AEW.
I could see MLP replacing New Japan Pro Wrestling in the Forbidden Door.
I can believe that. I can see that.
We could fucking see Tessa Blanchard again. I'm cool with that.
I can see that. I can't see Scott D'Amore working directly at AEW because that will require Tony Khan relieving himself of some powers, and he's not going to do
that. Dude, I hate when you say that because I just want to be confident that this could work.
You know it's the truth.
I know it's the truth. This is why I need you on Wednesdays, man, because I could sound delusional. You gotta put me in my place. But no, I think that's what's happening though. I don't know what would happen. Maybe I definitely would think, Hoss, that Scott could definitely come in. And again, I'm not this is the last thing I say because I don't want to make this about AEW and fucking MLP on a TNA show. But I could see Scott possibly having an input on what goes on for AEW as a partner, maybe not for him, but as a partner with still some input. Because Scott's great at, not great, but if he comes to Dynamite, I think that could be a game changer for creative, and we need that on Wednesdays, bro.
Well, you're correct, but I will say on the TNA end, they better get themselves in line for 2027 because there's nothing that WWE is going to do unless they were to loan out Roman Reigns to come out on Thursday nights. There's nothing the NXT people can do to help them anymore. Like, because we already got TNA people disenchanted with NXT talent wearing their belts. So, unless you're bringing CM Punk on the show, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, or something of that ilk, there's nothing else WWE can do to help TNA get to the next level. So that's going to be on Carlos Silva and his cohorts to build that brand up even more for 2027. Because 27 is going to be a big year for TNA, whether they like it or not.
Well, that's the final year of the agreement of the collaboration. They have to either renew or the collab is done. So 2027 is the final year. I don't know if that runs out in April or in January of 2027. So we could be months away from the TNA collaboration. I don't know that. So we I know it ends at 2027. That's a good question where they should be asking, journalists should be asking questions, so many times. And by the way,
nobody has the balls to ask fucking Carlos Silva that question.
Maybe that's why we don't get on, because we will do that. Listen,
we will ask that question. That is a valid question.
We won't be disrespectful. It's a real good question. We got a question. We got stuff out of him that we were getting grilled in our DMs. Why? How did you know? I remember that we asked them on our interview. We were the first podcast. Here's the thing: we were the first podcast ever to interview Carlos Silva as a TNA president, ever. We were the first ones. We asked and we got him. That's why it boggles my mind when they don't allow. But when they meanwhile, have we gotten any breaking news of any talent re-signing? It seems like they go chasing everyone else.
No, but what's funny about that is there's been times, and Carlos Silva included, he's accidentally let some shit slip.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody that, if you watch the video, which again thousands do, the numbers are there. Nobody really points it out. You don't think we go back and watch these fucking interviews before we release them when they're not live? Now, when they're live, you don't think we could go back and play it and me and Kev don't talk about what we just did? Film session on our own streams. You don't think we do that? Of course we do that. We've done that. So for, we would ask those tough questions. And there's been times where he's let something slip that we could have clipped or we could have brought out there and we fucking didn't. Because it's one of those things when you're a journalist, when somebody tells you something and it's like, yo, not for the record, but I'm going to tell you this, but don't tweet this. This is something that I'm telling you as a whatever. Like, I know this could be a little different because this was a live show that we did for the public to see, but you get my point. We have not done any of that stuff, while all these other people do that behind their back.
Yeah,
just saying.
They don't respect us, but yeah.
Meanwhile, they're breaking news, so
yeah, and they get the talents to go say, "Oh yeah, I just resigned with team." Like, really? Can you give us one? Can you give us a bone? Can you feed us? We've done nothing, but we could have easily clipped them and gotten traction on certain things by mistake that was said, but we didn't. But it is what it is. We'll move on for now. Let's talk about the pay-per-view, man. The pay-per-view coming up late to lockdown. It's been 20 plus years that we have not seen this in Chicago, out of all places. Before we get in all the different matches, I want to ask my panel, both of you guys, any chance we see a CM Punk?
At TNA?
Yeah, for Chicago.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. I don't.
Not a chance.
Okay, I had to ask. Maybe he's sitting.
I had like a 10% thing in my head that I could, but I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna say not a chance, but I'm gonna say no.
We saw Bailey and Mercedes when Trinity won the title in TNA in Vegas.
Okay, so when you say CM Punk there, do you mean like, oh, you see online that somebody posted that he's in the building, or like the camera and Tom Hannafin
in a suite?
We got WWE World Champion CM
and maybe, Punk and if he's there in the suite, they'll put him on TV. But he could. Do you see him in the building? One, do you see him in the building, and do you see him on TV?
I could see him in the building, TV, maybe not.
Okay.
Because there's the Ace Steel and Cora. That could be the only two reasons why I could see him at least being there.
Because I don't see him. He's not working on Monday.
No, and I don't know.
They're in Toronto tonight.
They're in
He's
Toronto
on Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's right. So he'll come. I mean, he can fly back to Chicago Saturday and be there for Sunday. It's not like it's in fucking Rosemont or anything like they do for some of the other shows. It's in Chicago.
I just can't see it.
I
just can't. Like, if they had a more chummy relationship with WWE, possibly, but it's more of just WWE dictating to them, and I just don't see WWE and TKO as like we've given them so much. Hey, Punk, go down to Lockdown and kick it down there for 30 minutes. Show face and just leave. I just don't. I don't.
So I'm in agree. I agree with you there for a couple of the stuff, but you don't think Punk with him doing NXT, he wouldn't mind doing it?
Right.
If they may be under the WWE umbrella, but it's still not WWE. I think corporate man Punk is all WWE. That's it.
That's fair.
But there's also Ace Steel. He's a producer. He works in TNA. That's his good friend.
That would be the only reason that's the only reason I'm even entertaining this Hoss, by the way.
And if Layla Black.
The only reason I'm entertaining this Hoss is because of Ace Steel's a producer.
And Elena Black. That's the reason why I'm entertaining that as well.
I will say this. If AJ Lee has any interest in you, I would give it a 15% chance.
Fair, that's 5% chance more than I had said. I said 10. So
I had it at 25.
because that would be one of AJ Lee's babies, I would imagine, that Elena Black is, technically speaking.
If Elena Black says that she's winning it, though, then that raises it to maybe another 5-7%.
Fair enough.
Because why would she? I don't think they're gonna go there to see her lose.
See, you don't get brain rotten takes here. We just went all around the world for that take. Just consider that. Just consider that, TNA. Consider that.
And if they never thought about it, that would have been a hell of a good idea. You know what? Maybe we should reach the WWE. Help CM Punk show up there, and people are like, damn, I have to tune in.
Hey, they gave him AJ.
Exactly. They gave him AJ Styles.
They did.
I know Punk never wrestled in TNA, but there's that.
Yes, he has.
I don't remember.
Him and Mickey James. Yes, he has.
There you go. Man, that was before my time. See, that's why we have Chris here, the statistician.
Walking encyclopedia.
Exactly. So let's talk about this card. Of course, where do we want to start? Let's talk about the steel cage match. Hopefully, this is the final match and it's done and over. They're all going to be in the cage. Elijah versus AJ Francis. Who do you like?
I'm gonna go with AJ Francis. He needs to be catapulted to the main event. Much as they put Elijah in big spots, somebody backstage doesn't see Elijah as a main event player, because he's been in big spots all this year for TNA. He seems to be treadmilling. But AJ Francis, he has a decent social media following, and people, whether you like it or not, he causes people to watch television. So AJ Francis should win here. I just can't see Elijah winning.
Let me ask you this, Haas, before I give it to Chris. Do we see expressions returning?
You have to. It's the pay-per-view. You have to do it. You have to do it.
Chris.
Expressions is going to help AJ Francis win. So yeah, I'm with you guys on that one, AJ Francis. And I like that this is the final chaos, because I told you guys this a few weeks ago on one of the Saturday shows that they're really, really milking out this feud between these two. But it's been good. It's been good. It's been doing its thing. AJ Francis, I'm a big fan of. Let's get him and Nick Nemeth now for the world title. I got AJ Francis.
All right. I've also got AJ Francis with expressions helping out there. AJ Francis getting revenge there. Escape the cage match. So this is the typical old-fashioned, if you remember the WWF steel cage, you escape the cage, no referee pin. Whoever touches the floor on the outside wins. Good. Moose versus the king of TNA, Frankie Kazarian. So you got the franchise versus the king. Who escapes the cage for the victory? Chris.
I would like Frankie Kazarian. I do like Moose, but I think Frankie Kazarian, he needs a little bit of momentum again, like he had when he was the TNA champion for that little bit of time. Moose did get a big win over Eddie Edwards at the last pay-per-view in a really good match. So I personally won't mind him losing. I'm happy that they're doing it, they can escape the cage match, because I miss this traditional steel cage match and the way that WWE used to do it. So now it's just pinning this. It feels like a Hell in a Cell with a smaller cage. That's the best way to put it. So I appreciate that. I got Frankie Kazarian. He doesn't have to pin the big guy to win it. He can easily just do some shit again. He could be a little punk. There's a door. You guys remember WWE when there was a door that sometimes the referee would be there. You can go out the door. They just have to unlock it. He can do some shit like that. Like, he can do a heel way to get out of the cage.
Don't bring back Jesse the Body for this. How'd you open the door?
Oh, dude,
why would you open the door?
Dude, he would go crazy.
Truth be told, I don't have much interest in this match, but I do have to pick somebody. I would find it comical if I see the former offensive lineman climb this fence and have his feet touch the ground. That's just me. Yeah, I'm going with Moose because I want to see this big ass fucker climb this fence. I want
to see him jump off and do some amazing red shit.
I don't want to see that because it may end up like Cope and he breaks his ankle.
I was hoping.
I don't want nothing like that. These are older men. They don't need to be doing stuff like this. No, I'm taking Moose.
Frankie, I think taking it back to the X Division days.
I think Kazarian wins, but I think Moose spears him out and Kazarian wins. He touches the outside first.
I like the way you think, Kev. I like
It's
that.
not bad at all. That's
I'm
not bad
good
at
with
all. I
that
like
finish. I'm good with a
Yeah.
finish like that.
It looks more strong.
It's kind of like what Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar did at the one Saudi pay-per-view back in the day when they were beefing where Roman speared him off the cage. But Brock, yeah, I like that. I like that.
All right, we got a lethal lockdown match. Of course, we know that the system has the man advantage. It'll be Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Bear Brunson, Alicia Edwards versus Ricky Sosa, Bang Bang, the Blessed One, Casey Navarro, Jada Stone, and Fabian Aichner. With all these type of weapons, it's gonna be chaos. Who do you like winning this?
I got the system. I'm gonna be honest. Unless they want to put, I can see them putting the faces over, but I know Eddie Edwards took a again big loss to Moose at the last pay-per-view. Brian Myers and Bear Bronson are former tag team champions, so I could definitely see the system going over. I like that they're adding the women in this too, with Alicia Edwards and Jada Stone. I enjoy that. That's what I liked when, again, I'm not comparing, I'm just telling you what I liked from other shows, right? I liked when AEW did this for Anarchy in the Arena with Willow and Marina. It brings something different because, again, this is a company that's not afraid to have intergender interaction. So just go watch anything Tasha Steelz has done last year. You'll see it. So I got the system, but if the faces do win, I would not be so surprised.
I'm taking the faces. If TNA was in a better position, the booking, the system would win. If TNA wasn't trying to appeal to new people, I would say the system would win. But wrestling fans are very fickle. You cannot have Ricky Sosa lose in a big spot like this. Ricky Sosa and Jada Stone are the biggest parts of this. Like Casey Navarro brings a base with him as well, but they're really pushing Ricky Sosa to the moon. He can't lose in this spot. And Jada Stone possibly could be your knockout TV champion. If that's the case, you got to keep a little mystery there. Like if she loses, be like, oh, she may lose next week. So I think the faces are going to win.
I like what you're thinking. I think the baby faces win, but at the end of the night, at the end of that match, they're going to keep the system is going to stay in the cage. Lights goes out, and I think we're going to get the introduction of somehow the Wyatt Six. I don't know if they're going to go under that name, but they're going to come in and attack the system. They'll start beating them up, doing all this crazy stuff. And I think that's how that goes off, where instead of remembering the baby faces winning and you're going to forget that the system lost, they got jumped. You got new wrestlers in. You got new fashion, a new group attacking the system. Where does that leave Moose? But Moose was a former system member. So I don't know. It's up to them to make dot the I's and cross the T's. But I think that's the way I think it ends. I'm with you, Haas. I think the baby faces win there going forward. We've got 5 title matches. TNA Knockouts Women's Champion, Tag Team Champions. Of course, the Demon Bunny. Will Rosemary show up? Where is she part of this group that people are getting knocked out in the back? I don't know. Versus the Elegance brand. Who do you like here, Mr. PGH Chris?
Look, we don't know who the Bunny's partner is going to be, if it is going to be Rosemary, but I will say this. Whoever it is, they should win. I don't want to see the Elegance brand as a tag team. Maybe not for a little bit, because I love Heather. She's great, but I do want to see Maggie kind of branch out on her own to see what she has, or at least with Mr. Elegance, or excuse me, the personal concierge, and kind of get rid of Mr. Elegance when his contract's expired, to do whatever the hell you do. I hope he asks for his fucking release. Anyway, I would have the Bunny and whoever wins do it. But to tell you the truth, I could not care less about this.
When you did that, I thought you were going to do the Elegance pose. When you put your hands up in the air like that, I thought you were going to do the Elegance pose. Yeah.
Mr. Elegance. You guys know what I think of him. Only off air.
But
YouTube rules.
I would say this: we just can't hot potato these titles. If we're gonna legitimize the Knockout Tag Team Championship, the Bunny and Rosemary just won these belts. Maybe a month ago? Was it a month or two ago? Something like that. Yeah. And they haven't really defended them really. So and it just wouldn't make sense to give her back to the Elegance brand because they do have some drama going on there because you need drama between Ash, Heather, and Maggie. Just say Maggie wins the TV title next week. She'll have some gold. Heather won't. Ash won't. We're gonna have women being jealous of each other. The story writes itself. So I need Allie and the bunny and whoever she's gonna be with to win here.
No, the Knockouts tag team champions retain. I got Ali and Rosemary. Rosemary is going to be back. I think Rosemary will be back. She's going to be in wait 10 minutes before the match. Ali's going to try to defend her herself. Here comes Rosemary. But I think the bigger story is where Heather by Elegance and Maggie come up short. And I could see at that TV title match, H by Elegance turning on M by Elegance, and Jada becomes your Knockouts champion whenever they do that match on Thursday Night Impact, and then we have a feud between M and Heather, because she could blame her for not winning the tag team titles, not focusing at the tag team titles, Knockouts titles, and you were more focused on your television. So I'm not gonna have you win it. If I didn't win tag team gold, you're not winning Knockouts gold. So I think they could go that storyline there, or I like what you said. M by Elegance wins and they kick out H because she didn't have no gold or whatever, like the Batista type of deal, the celebration, and they turn on her with Ash and they turn on M by Elegance, and now you got a babyface and M by Elegance with the Knockouts TV championship, and you're off and running with the races with her if she wins. So it'll be interesting which way creative pull this trigger to see there. But I still think the Knockouts tag team champion stays. They don't get changed. We'll go to the women's Knockouts championship. Zaya Brookside taking on Elena Black, hometown favorite. I'm gonna go right to you, Haas. We get a new women's Knockouts champion.
No, I think Zaya Brookside wins, and we're gonna crush the spirit of people in Chicago because we have to make Elena Black the sentimental face. Her losing at home will do that for her. People will probably gravitate to her more. It'll just be a hard-hitting match, and she just comes up short. I'm taking Zaya for the win because you just can't shotgun Elena Black as a face. It just doesn't seem that authentic. So
remember, Tommy Dreamer is not booking anymore. They're not. Do you think so? They'll do a Slammiversary again?
Yes. Why not? Why not? We got Bound for Glory. So. You got Bound for Glory in what, 2 months? Or you could switch it out on TV. You just got you got the workshop Elena Black right now. Like it's just too early because she hasn't got the base behind her yet as a face. She's a cute face, but she's not the face that you like. I gotta go for. I just gotta pick her, but man, it's not that yet. So yeah, I got Zaya retaining.
All right, I'm gonna go over to you, Chris.
I want to disagree with Haas, but I kind of do agree because. I'm so, especially me and you, where we look back at the Santana situation, and I probably think to myself they shouldn't do that here. But just like Haas said, she's not that baby face that I think, with like Santana, where everyone wanted to see him get crowned. A lot of people bought the show just to see if he would win. I think if she can get that type of babyface reaction out of her going into the rest of the year, whatever next time they come back to Chicago, then maybe. But I don't know. I don't even see her as a fucking face like you guys said. Like that's my thing. Like I don't know if that would work. I don't know if her winning in her hometown would make her into a bigger babyface moving forward. But I could also say that I like Zaya and I like the whole character change. It's definitely an upgrade from that corny shit she was doing last year. But has her being the champion helped her really in a big way? Either? That's debatable.
It's debatable because if she loses right now, she loses all credibility. Like you're throwing Zaya to the wayside.
I think both of these women are in the water. That's why I'm kind of like hesitating on giving you an answer on who I think is going to win, because
that's a good argument.
It's like, well, they're both kind of fucked in my opinion. Yeah. I'm just going to play. I'm going to say that this creative hasn't changed, and I'm going to say Zaya Brookside.
I want to be the one that says You know what was good? You know what? You guys screwed us last year. For our guy Mike, who was the hottest thing going and got in that television deal and your best year of TNA wrestling, and you still made him lose at UBS Arena in front of all of us Boricuas. But I think they're gonna we can't have that Mike Santana thing all over again. I think for that reason only, I think Lena Black goes over, man. Because they don't want a history of repeating themselves of people leaving upset, unless if they really get the Wyatt, all the Wyatts. That to me is just out of the park. I don't have any insights. I'm not. But wrestling fans, they always love a new show. They love a wrestling show or great pay per view when you get a lot of new arrivals, new people coming out of nowhere. And if they do that, it eases off the sting of Elena Black not winning in her hometown. Also, that's not going to be the main event. So that's also not going to really hurt because they'll move on. They'll have some match. They'll go off the air with maybe a feel good story or whatever the case is, and they'll make you forget about that. But I'm like you guys. Who do I pick? I'm still gonna go with Elena Black because they never did anything with Zaya going into NXT and rubbing that title in her father's face and all that. They have a lot of good storyline there. They didn't want to touch it. They didn't go with there. They didn't pull the trigger. Anything of there, nothing. Just Wendy Chu was her only title defense from NXT, and that's it. That's it, and I think it's going to be Elena Black time.
I get what you're saying. The thing about it, like when you compare it to Mike Santana, a lot of people gravitated to Mike Santana. A lot of people, the whole company wide, they gravitated to him. Elena Black just don't have that gravity. She don't and also a lot of things, especially in women's wrestling altogether, not even just TNA. A lot of things are really surface level. So I don't even think they would consider it the same at the same length like you just did with Mike Santana. I don't even think they think about that.
Fair enough. I could understand that where you're coming from. All right, let's go into the TNA International title. Jason Hotch, your defending champion, taking on the former champion Mustafa Ali. Do we get a new champion? I know we talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the show. Real quick, Hotch defends, or we get a new international champion?
They booked themselves into a corner here. I think Hotch wins, and I say that begrudgingly because I just don't see how you could just pick up Mustafa Ali after a loss and just say we're gonna put you into a bigger spot. But if you have Hotch losing, where does he go from here? Does he just fall back in line with Order 4? Or does he just go his own way after a loss? I mean, so that's what I don't understand. But I got Hotch winning. It's just gonna be they gotta really treat this. They gotta treat this this finish with some TLC, some tender loving care. Like it's got to make sense afterwards. So I'm taking Hotch, like I say, very begrudgingly.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big match. It's gonna have a lot. I think all these guys are gonna get involved. I do have Hotch, and I really do agree with Hoss on everything on that. Where I don't know what would be next for him. I could kind of see where Mustafa Ali could go, but he would be the one that I would question. But I don't think they should take the title off him this early. See where he goes, and then he could lose it again to whoever he faces next. But I do worry about Ali. I just don't like really Ali taking a pin. I will say that.
Fair enough. We'll see where that goes. I also got Hotch winning, so maybe Mustafa. Mustafa's also a Chicago hometown guy too. Remember,
Kev, I actually this. We got some controversy this week with Mustafa Ali and Dustin Rhodes.
I heard that.
Does that play into this finish?
You make a great point because I never thought about that. I did not think about that until you mention it right now. Shit. Wow.
Like a punishment?
No, not a punishment. Like, do they want to? We know how the creative room looks,
right?
Will they be sympathetic to Mustafa feeling offended by Dustin Rhodes?
And the internet fans rally behind Mustafa.
Got you.
That might be the influence.
Got
you made a great point there.
That could work.
Wow. It could work because if the Order 4 attacks him, if his own best friend turns on him and Mustafa gets the victory. When I mean John Skyler, that's the way I can see it. Like, oh, and Mustafa wins, and you know what? You just talked me into changing my pick. Good job, Haas.
And then it all goes together because this is a so-called political thing that happened. So
he's politics. He's bringing that Ali order. Yeah, you know what? Good job there. Love that. Love the way that. See, this is what we do here. We're not. Oh my God, tell me how you met KC.
I can't fucking stand her.
No brain rotting takes.
Dude, that pissed me off. You
That
finally
was a
get KC Navarro on your fucking show, and you sound like a banana. She does. She sounds like one of those bananas, like a minion. Like, oh, KC, can you...
Shout out to the Chalupa.
Casey Navarro. Need Elena Black.
It sounds like her too. My goodness, we're collaborating. Oh my God, we're collaborating.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right, let's go to the TNA X Division Championship. It's a last standing steel cage match, but that's not the only stipulation. If Slater loses, his record-setting title history is erased. He is erased from the TNA books. Now I ask this question, Chris. Does the youngest in charge stay in charge, and does he get his X Division champion, or is it Cedric time?
Nah, man, it's Cedric time. It's Cedric time. It's not. I don't know if Leon's gonna leave like right after this or whatever it is, but I do feel like they shouldn't have just fucking took that. They shouldn't have take the title off him before he broke in that record. I got Cedric. There's no way I want to see Leon Slater hold that title again.
Hey man, listen. I know they wanted to protect Austin Aries, but if you ask Mr. Thomas, Mr. Austin Aries is a piece of shit.
Oh, I believe they're gonna atone for their sins. Leon Slater is gonna get this belt again, and I believe afterwards they're gonna tell us that they have re-signed Leon Slater to a new multi-year contract.
Wow. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna clip this if you do say that. And I hope these people are writing with pen and paper because Haas is predicting a contract renewal by Leon Slater. I'm thinking Slater loses, and then we'll find him come with a new name at an NXT.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this right now. That would be the worst look for TNA. The absolute worst. They cannot have that right now. They can't.
They've got Ricky Sosa. They've got BDE. And they think they're fine. They think they're Leo Rush. It's fine.
I understand that, but man, you can't let all your franchise players go. Like, bro, I could take Mike Santana leaving. I mean, I understand y'all have y'all are very tied to him. I understand that, but for TNA purposes, Leon Slater is 22 years old. You got to sign him up for at least 2 or 3 years.
I agree with you.
I don't care if you got to have him beat Nick Nemeth and make him a double champ. Do it. You just can't let your young heavy hitters leave. Like Santana's 30, 31? How old is Santana?
34.
34.
And that's not his first big run with TNA either. That's his second.
Okay. So with Santana, I would get 34. You probably don't see a long runway with him. With Leon Slater, that's like the WWE letting Javon Evans leave. You just can't do it. You can't, especially TNA. Like, that guy is a game changer when it comes to your demographic. I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. The average wrestling viewer on television is 50 plus. If you are trying to get these young TikTokers to watching your shows on Thursday, you have to have Leon Slater on your television. So if your prediction is right, Kev, LOL TNA will be times 1,000.
That's the problem. But Haas, I'm gonna entertain your thought. If Leon does win the X Division champion, I know you're gonna say again, what is he gonna get out of it, Chris? Easy. Option C. I could see him at Bound for Glory, option C,
Okay.
turning in his X Division title against whoever's the heavyweight champion. I know we want Mustafa Ali. I think Mustafa Ali is going to win the gauntlet, or he's going to get the Call Your Shot Cup. I think he wins that. I could see Leon Slater challenging Nick Nemeth for your Bound for Glory in Tampa. It will be a great fucking show because they put on some good matches already. We've seen they have great chemistry. That's your main event for Bound for Glory. You could see either Leon Slater lose and the X Division is going to be up for a tournament and he can exit after Bound for Glory. Nick Nemeth retains, and you can still have Mustafa call your shot at Bound for Glory, still win, or even Leon wins, and Mustafa Ali wins the title off, calls your shot that night and take it off of Leon Slater. Then Leon Slater's one more match or television taping, and then he's off back wherever he's going to NXT or All Elite Wrestling, wherever he's no longer out. I can see that option going as well. So, damn, Haas, this is why I love having you guys on, because we explain our thoughts and our predictions and our thought process. Once another match that you change my thoughts where option C is out there, they could go that route. But I'll ask this to you, Haas. You make great points, and I piggyback off of it. Do you see this creative doing that?
Yes, because they cannot. We talked about it earlier. They don't have the cards. It's just certain things you just cannot do. Because from a business standpoint, you have to consider what next year is going to unfold. And you cannot go into 2027 without probably the guy who gets the most social media impressions other than BDE off your roster. You can't have it. You just can't. You just can't.
Yo, Aaron, I see you're in the chat, bro. I just saw you nominated me for the Rebel ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Nice.
I will do it. I accept your challenge.
Oh, wow.
Aaron, thank you for nominating me. I just see it right now on Instagram. I got the notification. Yes,
Nice.
I accept your challenge, Aaron. I will do it. I will do it for Rebel. I got you.
Nice. There you go.
Just wanted to point that out there. Sorry.
No, that's great. That's great. We'll definitely would love it. If there's someone could do a video, we'll put it on the Dynamite Bros.
I have my
Or
girlfriend
tomorrow.
do it. I have my girlfriend do it tonight.
Oh,
All
okay.
three of us. I won't be doing it. I'm sorry. I can't do the ice.
All right. I
love
will.
Rebel.
I accept.
I'm doing it.
I'll do it.
I'll do
The
it.
only one that I won't do it. I don't have ice.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Nice. That's good. Cool. I'll think about it, Aaron. I just don't want to be the Demi Dollar, but I don't know if I can do it. No, it's not. It's just, yeah. There's reasons.
I had a feeling I was going to be nominated for this eventually. I
didn't even think they were still doing it.
It's too much. It's too many people in this wrestling community. I had a feeling I was going to be nominated for this.
All right.
You'll see mine. You'll see it. You'll see mine tomorrow.
I gotta get somebody to throw the ice on me. But yeah, well, I'll get it done by the end of the weekend. I'll get it
There
done.
you go. There you go. Good job there. There you go. Let's get to the next match here as we breaking down this is your total Nonstop Jedi's on the break of all TNA and TNA wrestling. Let's go right into the main event. Of course, the tag team titles for the TNA tag team titles. The Hardy Boys, your defending champion against the Nemeth, Nick and Ryan Nemeth. Who wins?
Has to be the Nemeth. I think it's I would love it to be the Nemeth. It doesn't have to be the Nemeth. I would like it to be the Nemeth. I don't know. I think at this point right now you do want to keep the titles on Nemeth. You want to have him kind of be your big time player. They're obviously probably paying him the second or the most. And who doesn't want to see, the double champ heels with big brother and little brother? I mean, that would make for kind of fun television, at least for me. I gotta say this though, I don't really give a shit of who wins because I think both winners get the good. They could play it off. However, the one thing I'm not looking forward to in this match, I don't want to. I hope Jeff Hardy does not do some stupid shit because this is the first lockdown. If you watch some of the old lockdowns, oh boy. So, Jeff Hardy, do not do a fucking swanton off the cage onto a table. Please. Please don't do it. Do not try a whisper in the wind off the cage. just don't fuck yourself up, okay? You're already hurt, man. You're already hurt. But no, on all seriousness, it's gonna be a fun match. Storyline purposes, I could see Nemeth.
Pass.
I'm going to take the Hardys to win. They just won these belts. I don't think they're gonna just change them so quickly. And I understand Jeff's situation with not going to Canada. I believe they just won't be on TV for a little while. They're gonna have the belts, but the Nemeth probably destroy them at the end of the night. So they just write them off TV out that way. But the Hardys, they give Chicago a nice feel good story. The faces win. So yeah, I got the Hardys winning.
That's going to be a tough one because they're going to be live this Thursday, and if you don't have Jeff Hardy coming out with those tag team titles when they win it, I personally think it's going to be the Nemeths because they'll be off of TV for while they're in Canada. Both, and they're going to be in Canada, the next almost a month of tapings. So they're going to have 3 shows of close to 4 before they're live again. I think the Nemeths win, man. I hate to say that. I will love the Hardys because it helps them with the meeting greets on that, but I think it's going to be the Nemeths winning again. They're going to win the tag team titles, and they're going to go forward. They're going to gloat and all that stuff. And on WWE radio, you're going to have Nick Nemeth, your 2 double champion, talking crap on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and talk about chasing the. Remember we talked about them going appeasing to people that don't really follow the product, but if you see them on WWE radio with Nemeth with both titles, and you have LaGreca wishing he could be on the pre-show panel, but that belongs to iHeart, not WWE radio, and that's the way they're going to glaze. I think the Nemeths win.
Got a question. I don't watch. I don't listen much to Busted Open, but does Nick Nemeth play his wanted man character on the radio show, or does he just
not
play?
Even close?
No. If you want to know about scary movies, if you want to know about scary movies, if you want to know about movies and anything about wrestling, that's the time to listen to Nick Nemeth.
Nemeth, he's himself. He's nothing like he's a cool ass dude on the radio. Nothing like he is on TV.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then it would not be no point of promoting him on Busted Radio as
but no, because the intro, LaGreca glazes all his co-hosts. Bully Ray is the two-time Hall of Famer, the best decorated tag team champion, the Prince of Prime Rib, the Prince of Sausage. What else is it? Cabzilla himself, a damn handsome man. Yeah, and then Tommy Dreamer,
he's definitely the Prince TNA. Of Sausage, all right.
Yeah, the Prince of and then you got Tommy Dreamer, the King of Extreme, hardcore legend, all that stuff. Mark Henry, the not Hall of Famer, but not 1, but 2, but 3 classes. He does all that with his so with Nick Nemeth, you add that 2-time champion and all that crap. The most wanted man, Dr. Feelgood, dancing on glass, all that stuff. I listen.
He's one for Mark Henry, the most boring fucking big man of all time. Oh, what is it?
He has it. The world champion, not 1, but 2, but 3. And the most dangerous man, something like that. He has
the world's strongest man.
World's strongest man.
Okay.
Yeah. He has that. He has a nice introduction for Mark Henry. He has a nice one. Tommy Dreamer.
So you gotta let me make one for Denise.
You got it. Crickets.
There you go. See the humor here.
No, but yeah. So I think that what happens there. That's gonna be, and I think the card is gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be good. I think we're gonna get some new wrestlers surprises. And definitely, we're going to be breaking that down on our post show after TNA is over, Lockdown. So don't forget, tomorrow we have our weekly wrestling. We're not going to do too much TNA talk on that weekly wrestling, guys. We'll probably talk some other stuff, all that. But we'll definitely go through the week of professional wrestling that we normally do. We want to thank everyone for joining us. We're going to try to come on Fridays, maybe twice. Hey-o. But no, we're definitely going to be on live on Fridays to do the TNA recaps. Occasionally when they're live on Thursday nights, we'll go on live immediately. It's in the works, it's in the cards, but all that stuff. We'll definitely talk about that and more as a weekend during our productions. And yeah, we got Ice Bucket Challenge, so hopefully 2 out of the 3.
We got Klay Thompson going to the Heat.
Look at that.
Breaking basketball news.
Breaking basketball news.
Yeah, we got Klay Thompson going to the Miami Heat. The Mavs bought him. They got, they agreed to buy him out, and then he was a free agent, and then the Heat picked him up.
Wow. Well, but you know what I say?
Go ahead, Kev.
Knicks in 5.
Well, since he's going to Miami, does he get his hot girl Megan Thee Stallion back?
Have you seen the women in Miami?
Dude, he does.
Dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Although sometimes you got to be careful if they pee sitting up or standing up.
The only reason I said heat, hot girl.
Nah, dude, Klay Thompson. Do you think he fumbled that hoss?
No,
I don't think so.
She did.
She was a baddie.
She
She was one of the baddies. You know, what's her hot girl? She's the reason why girls have hot girl summers. And she talks about loyalty and all this shit. Fuck out.
She fumbled unless she pulls a Rihanna and goes to date an old prince from another country. Klay Thompson's probably the richest man she was ever with. So.
Oh, 100%. Oh, wait, Hoss. This is real quick. I know we're done with the review and we're getting a little topic, but it's gonna be this. A lot of the Megan Thee Stallion fans and all this shit. Nobody knew who Klay Thompson was before he got with Megan Thee Stallion. That's the same shit now all these Taylor Swift fans are saying about Travis Kelce. I'm like, dude, they're two champions of their sports long before these fucking people were even popular.
Chris,
maybe not Taylor Swift, but
Chris, we deal with brain rotten fans in wrestling all the time. These
people are terrible.
Yeah,
they're worse.
Yeah, they're the same. They're the same vein. They're creatures of the same vein. Nothing up here. Absolutely nothing up here.
Nothing up here. Everything everywhere else.
Hey, Klay Thompson. Yeah, he had a chance. He was part of the WAP club.
They do watch Marie. They're ball watchers.
Which ones? Oh!
Let's get out of here before we get killed.
Let's get out of here, gentlemen, because I know right there. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be on tomorrow for the weekly wrestling, the Sports Jedi weekly wrestling. So catch us there. We're definitely going to be having that conversation of Roman Reigns and so forth and all the other stuff, all the other wrestling nonsense. Don't forget, check out the Sports Jedi Media channel as we continue to grow. If you haven't subscribed, please do as we continue. And we're still fighting to get our old channel back, but you guys have a rest of your Friday. Kevin Owens and the one and only CM Punk for the Undisputed World title tonight. So have a good one.
I'm excited.
Julia versus.
It's reportedly scratched.
Oh, great. Thank you. I didn't want to see
all this shit came when we were live. That match is reportedly scratched.
They just will not allow the glamour on TV. I'm sick of it. Sick of it.
And by the way,
I want my big nose glamour on TV.
It's a preseason game, but go Jets.
It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Thank y'all guys. You're awesome.